Okay, we should be live. We're live here. Good. And audio is in the green. And I don't have the privacy bar on. No, privacy bar. Privacy bar is new. If I want to show something, but on a website, but I want to have some privacy, I have a privacy bar now. And I might make more for temporary things. Right, I already checked if it was pen sensitivity was right, and it was. So technically I should be able to start already. Penny isn't going to be very interesting today because there wasn't any news to work with. The most exciting news we had was thieves trying to break in a home, which is stupid to begin with. And the neighbors heard some noise. They just didn't realize that the neighbors were the local police station. So they chased the burglars to the roof, and eventually, after a lot of talking, they managed to get them down. But yeah, that was the most exciting thing we had the past week. So when in doubt, do the weather. Title might be a placeholder, not sure just yet. We're with 4 already. That's quite a lot of people. So that would be 1, 2 from the same home. Me, I wonder who number 4 is. The weekly update on projects. Today, a secret project has been delivered. I might be able to start testing it on Thursday. Because there's a whole booklet with information and I just don't register anything at the moment. So yes, another project, but this is I have a feeling I'm going to make a lot more pretty things next year. And then let's see, 5 people now. What else? Editing. I'm going to start the last 10 episodes tomorrow. I'm still going to do 2 a day. And of course there's extras, but that's just character description. That usually goes quite fast. So that's pretty much what I have. 3D printing project still on hold because my table in the new micro studio isn't clean just yet. We are getting there. Hopefully tomorrow or the day after or first day I'll be able to move the last things to there, and then I can well, my goal is to empty the table this week. So cross your fingers, let's hope it's possible. Because if it does, I can start streaming again and I can finish the swords. So that's my goal for this week. And that's all project related, I guess. If I do have time left, what's in my sketchbook? Funny. There's fan characters for the freebies. So if I have time left, I will do that. And hopefully I will be able to restart my visual novel again. But sure, first this. First we're gonna make the sketch. So feel free to talk about your own things again. If it's too private or I consider it privacy for someone else, I won't mention it because the chat won't get saved. That's pretty much deleted the next day. And the video is up forever. So, well, when I upload it on YouTube anyway. Also, if you say something that can let people think you're not at home, or perhaps find out where you live, that's when I don't mention things. It's been very stormy today. My other idea for the penny comic would have been, by the way, about people not signaling during on a bike or with a car. It's already annoying if it's on in a car, but bike cyclists who don't signal, that's just horrendous. Not just for people in a car, but also for other cyclists. I have this bridge I have to cross, and sometimes you just have to. It's really a steep downhill, so you have to slam the brakes if someone else is coming, and if no one is coming, you can just go straight. But if someone comes around the corner, you need to slam the brakes. But sometimes people just don't signal which way they are going to go, so you hit the brakes, and then it turns out you could just continue on the same pace, and you have to build up speed again. The same with a traffic light nearby. I really like this jacket I made. With traffic lights, sometimes people have to cross right before you, so you hit the brakes, and then it turns out they just go around the corner and you didn't have to stop at all. And you missed your green light because of that. I wonder if that was an airplane or a thunder. We had a few heavy thunders the past few days. Not much, really, about one or two of those claps. But considering I don't really like thunder, especially the very loud ones, it was plenty for me. And of course, my young adult festival is Friday. Really looking forward to it. I'm going to bring a few surprises, which was not discussed with the organization. The goal is that I give how to draw manga lessons, and then they can decorate a bookmark. But usually you have just those square ones. So I'm going to take along a few punches, paper punches, to get rounded corners, to add a little heart hole, a star hole, or a hole. And I even have, well, the one I had that for the heavy duty punch. And then I'm going to prepare for doll fair. That's something I hope I'm able to start creating the next series of books this Saturday. And I am capable of cutting my own cardboard for the cover, so if they're not ready for me because it's a joint project, then I can cut them myself. So I already have 5 done, but of course I want to make more. Also have an idea of displaying them, but I don't think I'll be able to do that before the doll fair. I could try it, but then it would be rushing, and rushing is never good. This one needs to go lower. And I'm looking forward to doll fair as well. Mainly because it's in my own town. It's like, sure, it's preparation, but it's not long distances of travel. And it's a new fair. I want to see, do people like my doll eyes, the ones I created? And so it's a home game, home party. Well, if you are interested in mini books, maybe I can see if I can make a deal for you, a price of the deal. And otherwise, well, you can always, I can make more. So if they're like too expensive, or you just want to start with one and start collecting them, that's fine by me. I can always create new ones. We did get an announcement for a possible new uh, fantasy fair, something like that, in, I believe, Zaandam. So we're waiting for information on that. And it's pretty much the same distance as Rijswijk is for us. Maybe a few minutes more, so that's not much of a deal. And it would be something like Fantasy Fest. At least they are trying to arrange something like that. So, and if that does happen, then I have a new fair in January, but it's quite late and last minute at the moment. And its thumbs are on the other side. So here's just waiting to see what will happen with that. So maybe last minute I'll get a new convention. Okay, this should be pretty much all the sketching. First we're gonna lock it, because otherwise I'll be drawing on the same wrong layer again. But my guess, I am probably be able to send book 5 Dutch to the Dutch editor at the end of this week. So my editor can read it. I'll take probably a week off and might return to the book I'm still supposed to edit for someone else. So then I have probably that time again. And of course I need to start thinking about the interior art of book 6. Also, I got a Blue Sky invite code. Blue Sky is the, well, at least they try to make it the new Twitter. And well, at least I can reserve my name and look into it if it's actually something. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be active on Blue Sky, but you know, it won't harm to create an account. Well, I believe you have invite codes when you create an account, so if you want one, I should be able to. I believe you have 2 codes a month, I guess. So one is going to be first pick for my love, of course. So the other one is first come, first serve. And of course, people will probably upset if I don't choose them. But well, more and more people are getting Blue Sky, so you just have to wait patiently, and someone will get you the invite code. Some people are just offering it for free, so. And with for free, I mean like, hey guys, I have an invite code. Who wants to have one? Of course, we know a few people, of course, are gatekeeping, because there are always people gatekeeping. Right, I should remember. I got roped into visiting the Creado this year. I don't think I've ever been there, or I've been there as a very small child. Can't really remember if I've ever been there. But someone really wanted to go with me because, you know, I'm into crafts and all that jazz. Oh, I forgot to do eyebrows over here. So my guess is it will probably be a one-timer. Because I don't really like going to fairs and craft shows. Is that the correct term? But, you know, maybe I'll like it. It's not that far away from home. Gives me a reason to spend time with that person for privacy reasons. I won't mention who, of course, because that's private. And maybe I'll do some inspiration. Though I believe it's mostly classic crafts. And, you know, we'll see, we'll see. I doubt I'll be going more than once. I remember that someone went there with their products, and it didn't really go that great. That was a shame. I'm also having a bit of a mind fog, meaning there's a feeling of haziness in my brain. Yet at the same time, I'm absolutely clear. So I have this duality. Sometimes I am very aware of the emotions I'm having, and I can be very rational while having those emotions, like being having 2 emotions at the same time and being very aware of each other. So that's something I have, and which Some people find really hard to deal with because I can analyze perfectly what's going on while I'm being in tears. So that's a duality I have, and that's something I have right now. I have it more often. I mean, I'm rambling most of the time with my streams anyway. But right now, I can just stop mid-sentence and just completely forget what I was talking about. And if you ask me some simple math, like how much is 4 plus 4, I actually need to think about how much that is. So I was sneezing last week a lot. And that was quite sudden, and I first thought allergies, which is still a possibility, by the way. But it was over. It was over, by the way, when it started raining again, so still a possibility of allergies. But in case it was something uncool, I just kept my distance with people. Oh, that's a very weird pinky. Hydrate. I had this joke prepared. Like, we should make a drinking game. Every time they say hydrate, you have to take a drink. Which is technically the goal anyway, so. This is a bit too thin. How does one hold a cap? I don't even know how to write it in Dutch. Holding the hood of a hoodie. Well, that gives a few examples. Okay, this might actually be someone I can work with. Yeah, having two minds active at the same time. It's similar, but or familiar. It's not exactly the same. It's unique in your case. It's not some. I don't have a different personality or something like that. I'm still the same me. I just have two brain patterns going at the same time. It's very comparable what you just said. And I'm glad I'm not the only one apparently who can have two mindsets at the same time. Oh, I gotta sneeze, I gotta sneeze. Or maybe not. I'm going to mute my mic for a little bit in case the sneeze is going to come. If the sneeze comes, you'll probably see Penny going all the places for a moment. And the feeling of sneezing is gone. But I'll keep the Gesundheit, by the way. I'll just hold on to it for when I'm actually gonna need it. So thank you in advance. I can hear the tram from here. Considering the wind, by the way, is quite likely. And it had to honk, so that means someone was trying to beat the tram again. Most of the time, they win. Sometimes they don't. And when they don't, that's when you have issues. By the way, the tram is a lot lighter, so there's a bigger survival rate, let's call it like that nowadays. So if you get hit by the tram while you're in a car, you have a bigger survival rate. Downside, your car can push the tram out of the tracks. So if you hit it with your scooter or your motor, you have a better survival rate. But and then you won't derail the tram, by the way. And people just consider themselves unbeatable, invincible, and they're like, maybe I shouldn't have done this. I always said that there are a lot of parallel worlds going on at the same time. That's the concept of a parallel world. And in sometimes you make a choice, and then one world this happens and the other world that happens. That's also the concept of parallel worlds. And sometimes I have a feeling like, in the other world, I just died. I know that sounds very stupid and grim, but I just sometimes have a feeling I should not have done that, and in another universe, I suffered the consequences. But as far as we know, parallel universes aren't a thing. And I should just take care of the one we have right now. I'm starting to defog in my mind. No one knows for how long. It's, by the way, lovely that there's a webtoon creator from the Netherlands who has a comic, and one of the character had at least one comic page, and that's a lot of frames, where the symbol on their shirt changed with every frame. And there were like a lot of people, oh, how ingenious, I've never seen that before, and that's so smart, how did you come up with that? And I'm like, I've been doing it for 15 years already. But I doubt this person actually has seen my comic. Or maybe they have, but I doubt enough to actually see this or realize this. I'm going for the great minds think alike. In your universe, Penny can always go Super Saiyan. It's a bit small, that hand, so let's enlarge it. Background is going to be very important in this one. First multiply and lock it, and then we can color on this one. That's a bit dark. I could of course always write the hex code so it would be the same every comic, but you know, the charm of Penny is that despite it being a professional comic, it doesn't look professional. And that's partly the intention. I don't want it to be the perfect comic with immensely slick lines. It never has been, so it's a bit light for Penny, just slightly darker. It's a bit grayish. Let's see if I can change it slightly. And of course this one, otherwise it won't make any sense. This makes it more orange. Is this a right color? It's slightly darker. It's actually a bit pinkish this time. I'm having issues with the skin color this time. Okay, I need to do some hand coloring with this one. And let's do it before I don't even see the difference anymore. There we go. As for TV, yesterday we finished watching the DVD of Picard Season 2. Those who know me know I really like Star Trek. I have yet to see the original series. I believe I saw 1 or 2 episodes thus far. I did see the pilot movie, by the way, which was weird, but also, yeah, it was nice. And with Picard, of course, you don't want to spoil things, despite it already being out and finished, and third season is about to be released, but not yet. I have to say I liked season 1 better than season 2. Season 2 had its moments, but yeah, both actually felt more like a two-parter episode, despite it being 10 or whatever, than a mini-series or something like that. But things were explained quite well. There was some nice foreshadowing that I noticed in the final moments. So I'm going to pass the DVDs on. I always pass them on to a family member, and when they're done with it, they can return it. And maybe we'll watch it again so we can see all those small hints we may have missed. And we're hoping that season 3 gets released soon. The new season of My Little Pony has been released. Make Your Mark Chapter 5. Which if it was possible, I would start binge watching it tomorrow. But unfortunately, I still have a day job. And I can't take time off to watch a cartoon series. I mean, technically I could, but I don't think people would appreciate it if I just leave them behind, and so they have to clean up a lot of mess. Also made quite a big mistake at work today. Not a fireable offense, thank goodness, but it's a mistake I usually don't make, and it was technically unfixable. But I was given a way to make things right again. And I did ask a triple check. Is it good this way? Do I need to fix something else? And then when it's done, I can finish it. And then it's okay. But it is actually quite a big mistake, a rookie mistake. Considering I've been working there for 10 years, it was not very good. But at least people, they know I don't make mistakes often, so I don't get treated that harshly. But yeah, I was not that smart. And by the way, the mistake was a mix-up on the date, which is in this case quite important. Okay, we're with 6 people now. Almost forget to color Smeltjan. Something I still have to watch is Sailor Moon Cosmos, but it's not released just yet in our region. And of course I don't speak Japanese, so I have to wait for the subbed version. I think this is all the coloring. Oh, Smeltjan. Of course, I know some people can't speak Japanese, so I'm quite jealous of them. And of course, I could try learning Japanese, but I've noticed that there's only space in my head for one foreign language, namely English. And whatever other language I've tried to learn, and then I'm talking about French, German, Latin, Old Greek, that just doesn't stick. And by the way, I did try Japanese self-teaching, but it's not something for me. I'm the kind of person who would go to a foreign country to live there and be too scared to learn the language because I'm afraid I would suck at it. I'm that kind of person. Midtones needs to be highlights. Hmm. The only other language I could remember would be my own language. Technically, not even that. There are a few words I can remember and I know how to work the language, but I always need my own dictionary. So, unfortunately, I am not fluent at my own fantasy language. I'm quite fluent at pronunciation. Oh, it seems the tool has reset for some odd reason. That's quite a lot of languages you learned. I'm just not very good at languages. And the language I created myself is, I consider it a quite tricky language because it's very basic grammar. And sometimes you just have to know about the rest of the text to figure out what people are talking about. So if I open up my dictionary over here, is this the dictionary? Yes, this is the dictionary. This is a free program for dictionaries and usually normal dictionary with normal languages. So there we go. Um, for example, Agassi, Tindem Agassi means he is happy. Well, that's still quite normal. Let's see if I can find them because I didn't do all the example text just yet. Sometimes it will just come when it comes. Eayu, mountains, hills, mountain chain. It's just everything that's a pile of rocks and dirt that's quite high. And Neliro Loe. I see I made a typo here. Okay, but I can't change that over here because I have, this is not the latest version. So I'm gonna send a message to myself and I'll fix it tomorrow. Text instead of IAL. Okay, so I have a note for myself. Neliro IAL Lohe. And I'm not very fluent at it just yet. I need to do that more. And I see a mountain chain over there. I see a lot of mountains over there. You have only 3 times. You have the past, the present, and the future. You don't have anything like past, present, perfect, and whatever. Just those 3. And if you have a verb in the test, you just add the word esta at the end. And if it's the future, it's asta. So it's quite close as well. But sometimes you just, some words mean more than one thing. My goal is, how many words does it have by now? How many entries? Let's say 650 words. It's not the smallest language. There are smaller languages, but I believe a normal language would have at least 2,000 words. And of course, some words don't exist in the second language. For example, Wait, I have to keep on focusing a bit as well. For example, computer and cell phone don't exist in Seiken, so I don't need to make words for that. However, I will of course do a future version, and then there will be cell phones and computers, just not on Seiken origin. Seiken will be old, ancient, medieval. That's something that won't change. But then people will just call it a smartphone or computer, something like that. And in case it was translated to French, ordinateur. I don't know what the French word for a cell phone is, or they just call it smartphone, something like that. But of course, they won't use it with the locals anyway, because the locals are not supposed to know about technology. So if you want to do something about, let's see, mm, if they're on Earth and they speak Seiken to each other, which doesn't happen that often, but let's say they do, then they just use the Dutch words for it, which are often also the English words, so that makes it easier. And on Seiken itself, they don't really use. They only talk Seiken, but of course there will be other people who don't speak the Seiken language just yet, and then it's going to be a mix of languages, and I have to figure out how to write it down so that for the reader it will be clear which language is which. And I'm just going to do the English one will be the one we understand, but sometimes it will be Earth language, sometimes it will be Seiken language. Seiken language might also be just written as Seiken language, especially in the beginning, because let's call it the main characters don't know any Seiken, so they're like, what the heck are they talking about? So in the beginning it will be just Seiken, and eventually it just will be translated for the reader, but not the character. Okay, this needs to be blackish and gray. There we go. Let's create the sun. And now we're gonna create some rain. I do hope I get... oh, there's the sneeze, there's the sneeze. So, hereby I claim those earlier Gesundheit and bless you. I think I have a tone I can use. Someone's dumping all of his glass work or something like that. Yep, someone drank really a lot. Is something... yeah, I'm gonna use the white. Let's create the text. But yes, second language is quite basic language, and sometimes I really want to find an earthly explanation, and sometimes I just have to say it's an alien planet. Accept it, they do things differently. It's quite hard to omit your earth thoughts and earth logic. Oh, it's really reset. Well, sometimes a reset is nice. By the way, I received a compliment from one of my colleagues at work. We have this compliment system, so you can send a compliment to someone else. Also, hydrate. And they said I could really explain things well, and they really understand things, and I take my time for them. So they really appreciate it if I explain something to them. And there's also this part that I have a new responsibility at work where I can check um, the let's call it the letters they send to clients, and I can check them if grammar is right, if they made any mistakes. It's always after, so letter has always been sent. It's also always in the feedback form, and yeah, I just analyze it about line by line with some people. Some people appreciate it, others just don't have anything I can analyze, and they really enjoyed it and they appreciate it, and yeah, it's a wonderful compliment. And I was thinking, I'm actually being a teacher to someone, so I'm doing something with my education. And who would have thought that someone who sucked so much at language is now teaching others language or grammar? And sometimes I just look it up what it is, and then I'm teaching myself even more. So this doesn't look nice, so this looks better, more balanced. Okay, so I'll be sending this to the peoples who are not in the chat. And that one has already been checked. Okay, so I won't have to post it over there. It means I can at least already save it. Oi. Need to reset it. Remember, this is such an old program. It can't deal with basic saving if the memory is full. And thank you, that was the one I was waiting for. That's the one thing I don't like about this program. You sometimes have to restart it, so I use it less and less. And for my big works, I use Clip Studio Paint. But like, I mean, those tones I just used for the rain, that doesn't work in Clip Studio Paint. And it's paid software, so I'm gonna use it until I can't anymore. And that's probably gonna be a long time from now, so I'm just doing the best I can. Also, I used this program for the coins for my 3D printing project. So sometimes you just need simpler things, simpler programs. You don't need all the fancy things. And I don't know everything about Clip Studio Paint just yet. This one can close. Now I need to... Oh, I still need to rename that one. But first... text file. Okay, what do we think of this? And while you guys go check it, I'm going to make a picture, because I'm done quite fast with this penny. So I can do the cheap man's scan. Okay. Let's see all the messages I got the moment I was looking away from my screen. Two okays, three okays. And we're doubting about zeker weten. I know zeker weten is a Dutch expression, not really a word. Is it with or without a hyphen? Is it two separate words? Is it one word because it's an expression? And this word is a bit too much. So I'm waiting for my Dutch specialist. Okay, so this is an accepted spelling. So it's either one word or with a space. So there are two acceptable spellings. Right, so this is ready. I'll be sending that afterwards. So first I'm going to open another screen. And this time I'm not going to do a star sign. I'm going to do a freebie. And you have about 1 minute to guess which fan character I'm going to create. Thumbnail has already been made. I was that quick. I didn't have a folder for it just yet. Okay, new folder. Gives you more time. So, which character am I going to offer as a freebie? I'm going to flatten this. Layer. Flatten image. There we go. That makes things a lot easier. I'm going to make a reddish background so I can easily see everything. It's a bit too red, needed less red. There we go. It's easier on the eyes. No guesses? Well, of course you get a preview which the next fan character is, but that's probably for next week. So yes, this will be a freebie. Let's see, is this a nice size? A bit too big or... No, that's pretty much decent. I'm assuming you by now saw who it is. If you did play along, but in your mind, I hope you had it right. And it's quite ironic that Miko Hatsune has a new Pokemon project going on, where she gets paired up with Pokemon. Today was Fairy type. And of course that was Jigglypuff. There had to be a Jigglypuff somewhere. I mean, Jigglypuff is the OG, what's it called, singing Pokemon, so... Not sure if this mouth is going to work, considering past week's experience. But we'll see how much detail it will be able to do. Maybe one day I'll also do a Snow Miku, because I really like Snow Miku. Long hair is an issue to get nice smooth lines. I always try to keep in mind where the balance point is going to be. It's quite light, so technically you shouldn't have too much issue to balance it when you want to glue it on. I mean, I haven't tried it myself, but usually if you use enough glue, it sticks anyway. Yes, Sakura Miku is also quite nice, but you can always paint this in the Miku colors you like. I mean, I can't put all the details in the printable design anyway, so that's why this is a freebie. And of course you can always use other materials as well. I mean, what's keeping you from adding pompons to get even more 3D feel? If you're creative enough, I can bet you can add some cherries to the hair. I mean, you can paste them on top of the hairband, so I don't think creative people will have an issue creating this in different Miku. At least I'm not. I hope I'm not overestimating the creativity of people. I mean, you can also turn this into a Pinkie Pie Miku if you want to. I don't want to tell people what they must do with freebies and their own creativity. I want people to dream. I want people to look for limits. I want people to think outside of the box. This is already quite the coloring blank. And I think technically if you really want to, you can turn this into a stamp. I mean, I couldn't create a microphone because it's just too detailed. But I bet there are people who are like, hey, I found this little bead that looks like the microphone. Let's add that. I have a little wire. Let's add that. So many things people can do. I don't want to hold people back at all. Maybe people want to make this into a cake topper for a birthday party. And draw little unicorns on the dress. Turn this into a shaker. Think in possibilities, not in limits. This needs to be a bit darker. And now we need to the lightest color. First, what we need to do is this. Wait. This is what went wrong last week. Sound is back on. Why is my sound back on? I don't want sound. I don't like sound. I'm a terrible person when it comes to cell phones. I really want everything silent. This went a lot easier than last time. Okay, so now I need to clean up an aisle 3. And let's see how this works. Figure's looking fine. For example, you still need to hand paint her eyebrows because otherwise I need to have very thick layers. How about I put this one out? And we're going to put the privacy bar back on. Where's my privacy bar? I have a privacy bar. There we go. And that way I can open my browser over here. Still see a lot of my privacy things, so that's not really smart. First I need to do where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay. So, well, it's not much that you saw, by the way. You just saw which are my favorites, and there's a lot of sites I follow, so you can see where I have an account, but it just means I have to edit the video again. Oi, invoices arriving. I don't like it when invoices arrive. Interesting. Oh, there it is. Outlook is having so much issues with opening things the first try. Don't know if anyone else has that problem. By the way, editing the stream isn't that much of an issue. It's just that by the time I'm done with saving the files, it's probably tomorrow again. There we go. Miku, Miku, Miku. We're going to extrude, grayscale. I'm going white. Is white the one I need? Okay. Silhouette is fine. Hands are more mitten-like, so you need to paint that by hand. But that was to be expected. Mouth isn't good, but that was also expected. So I just need to fix that mouth. Oh, I need to. I do need to mail something. No, I'll do that afterwards because I still need to fix this. First A then B. Because I need to wait for the resaving anyway. Let's see if this was enough. And of course I need to, well, do I need to create a matching coin? Because that would just be a music note. And I might actually want to use that for one of my paid versions. I think I'm going to just add a blank one. You can always paint a music note on it or anything else. Maybe the symbols on the side of her arm, I believe 01. Okay, this one looks fine. So people can turn this into a keychain, a magnet, a standee, or whatever. This one was quite fast. So, right. I hate it when it does that. You go away. I don't want you. Did you already save? Yes, you already saved. So this standee will come with a blank base, so you can paint whatever you want on it. These dents are the, you can do whatever with whatever you want to it with it. But this is going to be a freebie, hence why I'm just doing a blank base. So this is what I'm going to do did for today. And quitting early isn't that bad either, because usually it's way too late, and I now need to edit the video to remove a little bit of the private part. There we go. And I need to send everything. So I'll be seeing you next week, I guess. So bye bye. Oh, stop looking so weird. Look happy and bow. Still looks weird.